Armando Baker here.
It's Luke May.
This is Tyler Hansbrough.
University of North Carolina.
Here's North Carolina.
I just want to shout out my boy JBear_YT.
JBear_YT.
It's Carolina family, baby.
Go Heels.
Go Heels.
What is up, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today, we're doing the ESPN Tournament Challenge Second Chance Edition, which is where you pretty much take your tournament bracket, throw it in the garbage, set it on fire, and start again from the Sweet 16 and see if you can do any better, which most of the time, you really can't. So, let's get right into it. I may sound a little sick right now. It's just springtime. Me and spring, just absolutely hate each other. My nose really is not playing around with me right now. My nose is really getting clogged up, but I will not blow my nose into the microphone to annoy you guys. So let's get right into it here. Gonzaga, Arkansas in the first matchup. Now, all year, Gonzaga has been kind of the, not undoubtedly best team in the country, but they've been in that realm. Arkansas, they've upset some teams. They've upset Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee even, I believe. Not sure about that. But I've said all year long that Arkansas next year is going to be better than this Arkansas team, although this Arkansas team is pretty darn good. So I will end up going Gonzaga. Arkansas has been finding ways to win, but they haven't looked great in the tournament so far. Honestly, same thing with Gonzaga. They haven't been dominant against any team so far, so I'll keep that in consideration for the next picks. But Texas Tech and Duke also in the Western region here. I'm going to go Texas Tech because I think their defense is far better than Duke's. It's not even debatable as far as that goes. Duke or Texas Tech, they haven't looked fantastic in the tournament so far, but they've just been, playing the game, survive and advance. But Duke is talented offensively. If they have a good three-point shooting night, they can definitely win this game. But if they're even a little bit off, honestly, they might have a long night. So I'm going to go with Texas Tech here, and I guess we'll go keep it in the Elite Eight to finish out each region. Gonzaga and Texas Tech. Gonzaga is just far more talented, but the defense of Texas Tech, it's what they do. That can throw them for quite the loop. So it's tough. I'm not sure where I want to go here. I'll probably end up going with Gonzaga because it just seems like they make the Final Four every year. So, all right, moving on to, let's go to the South region here. We got Arizona and Houston. What a tournament for Houston. They've really outperformed my expectations for them. I'd say their defense, good playing there. But they are missing some of their leading scoring options, so I don't see how they can win against Arizona. I know Arizona almost lost to TCU, the 8 seed, but that TCU team, they look really good against Seton Hall, and they played a heck of a game against Arizona. I think Arizona is just too talented to lose that game, so I'm going to go Arizona moving on. Michigan, Villanova. Villanova is really good. I've questioned the fact that they don't have a big man, like a true traditional big all year, but obviously you don't necessarily need that, especially when the teams you're playing so far aren't as good as you, and I definitely don't think Michigan is as good as Villanova. Michigan can definitely win this game, but I'm going to go Villanova to advance there. And moving on to the Final Four, I'll have Arizona moving on there. I think they're a better team, and Arizona, they love to drive in the lane, and there's no bigs on Villanova that are probably going to be able to stop that, so I'm going to go with Arizona. Now moving down to the Midwest, we got Kansas and Providence. I think this is probably the easiest division for the 1 seed to move on. I think Providence, Iowa State, and Miami, they're just not, I don't want to say they're not capable, obviously. March Madness, anything can happen. But I think Kansas is just the clear best team in this region. So I will go Kansas beating Providence to move on to the Elite Eight. Iowa State and Miami. Iowa State does have struggles scoring sometimes, and Miami is extremely mature and experienced is the word I'm looking for. So I will have Miami moving on there to face Kansas, and I'll have Kansas moving on against Miami. But a good run for the Miami Hurricanes this year. And in the Eastern region, North Carolina versus UCLA, battle of the Blue Bloods in the Sweet 16 here. North Carolina, so far, has had the better tournament. There's just no doubt about it. being a 9 seed and a 1 seed, both in fairly convincing fashion. I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking with that Baylor game. We almost blew it, but with Caleb Love and if Brady Manick stayed on the court that game, which Caleb Love would have fouled out anyway. But if Brady Manick stayed in that game, that result just doesn't happen. And honestly, in all seriousness, I didn't even do a video on this, but I think that could end up being a good thing for the Tar Heels. Having to go up and fight and claw their way with having to use the bench, like literally being forced to use the bench in this game. Hugh Davis haven't had to do much of that this season. That can pay off in the long run, getting them not necessarily more rest, but more experience for the bench going into the rest of the tournament. So I'm going to go North Carolina moving on here. UCLA, I think, what is it? Is it Jamie Jaquez who's possibly not going to play in that game? If that just makes it even more sure I'm going North Carolina, but I think I'd go with them either way here. But UCLA is definitely one of the best teams remaining in the tournament as far as overall talent goes. Purdue and St. Peter's, what a run for St. Peter's, but it's hard for me to pick them against Purdue here. Jaden Ivey and Zach Edey, they should probably, and Travion Williams, they should go off in that game. And I don't want to say it won't be close because St. Peter's, what a heck of a tournament so far. But I will go Purdue there. And North Carolina versus Purdue. Earlier in the season, unfortunately, Carolina did struggle a bit with, well, not struggle with Purdue. They actually boat raced them at a point in the year where I'd say Purdue was a better team than they are now, and North Carolina was a worse team than they are now. So with that said, I don't know. Well, maybe Purdue's like on the even playing field compared to how they were earlier in the season. But North Carolina is definitely far better at this point. I'm talking about when they were earlier in the season, but you know that's what I'm saying. But guard play, I think that, I don't know. We need, obviously, one of either RJ Davis or Caleb Love has to go off in that game for us to be able to win it. I think that's definitely possible. Armando Beca's going to be tough to deal with inside, but with Zach Edey and Williams, it's not going to be the most challenging thing. The toughest part for Purdue is going to be stopping Brady Manick because he is just more elusive and he's taller than any big. Well, he's not taller than any big, but he's faster and quicker than any big that Purdue can throw at him. So if Brady Manick can go off, North Carolina wins this game. So I think North Carolina will advance to the Final Four. So my Final Four is Gonzaga, North Carolina, Arizona, and Kansas. And with this pick here, Gonzaga versus North Carolina, both teams that haven't been playing great defense all year long, I'd say North Carolina's defense might be better at the moment. And Arizona, Kansas, but I guess we'll start with Gonzaga versus North Carolina. I'll start out going with Gonzaga, moving on here to the national championship game. Just a little bit too much for Carolina to handle there, but a Final Four run, Tar Heels will take that all day. And by the way, I didn't even mention this, but if Duke versus Carolina ends up in the Final Four, the nervousness that I and most Carolina fans will experience will be incredible. But anyways, and Arizona, Kansas, I think Arizona and Kansas might be both better than Gonzaga in my opinion. So I think the winner of this, I'm going to have winning the national championship game. I'm going to go with Kansas. Kansas was my preseason prediction, and having them here, winning that game, I mean, they look the part. Ochai Agbaji, and I think Christian Brown can be a big piece in that run. And Gonzaga, Kansas, I already kind of said it, but I'll have Kansas winning the national championship. I'm going to go 77-70 being the final score as Gonzaga continues to struggle to win the national championship. But guys, that's going to be my second chance bracket. Let me know who you think is going to be in your Final Four down below. Please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do all that YouTube stuff. And I will see you guys in the next one.